She was so unfortunate and found herself without legs. She was abandoned by both parents and has lived most of her life with the grandma. This has made her life more difficult. Some different people always discouraged her, saying she will never make it since she's physically impaired. But she says disability is not inability and she'll keep fighting for her life. The 22-year-old aspired to be a top model, but due to being physically challenged, she's now learning more about fashion designing and soon going to be one of the best fashion designers. On our return, we bring her fans gathered from GivingLife.com, and this has left her speechless and happy. This is the update. She's called Iradukunda Subir Emerita. She was born normal with all legs functioning and lived with both parents. Her future seemed promising, but when she turned 3, something strange happened as the little girl was playing and fell sick out of the blue and had to be taken to the hospital, though the grandmother said doctors even made the situation worse.
baje kumutera urushinge mbega babonye ko ari umuriro mwinshi bahita bamutera urushinge batigeze batarinze kumushyiramo igipimo bamaze kurumutera nicaye ngira ngo ntegereze gusuzumisha ngiye kubona mbona umwana ahindutse ubugondo azanye.
Her legs started swelling, hence causing a lot of pain to the 3-year-old by then. And since they lived in an area where witchcraft was being practiced, both parents and everyone who saw that mysterious change thought the little girl by then was bewitched. Instead of cooperating and trying to figure out what had to be done to save the little girl's life, the 2 parents started quarreling and having misunderstandings between each other that forced them to divorce and part ways, leaving the daughter in her grandma's arms. The young girl's condition became worse and she reached a certain point where her legs had to be removed for good, and that is what happened. The operation was carried out successfully, and that is how she lost both legs. Despite losing both legs, the girl says she does not understand why both parents forfeited their parental duties and left her to live as an orphan, yet she had all parents. And living without parents has costed her a lot, being the reason she says she will never forgive her parents for what they did. Parents left when she needed them the most, and they left when she was so young that it could be hard for her to remember how they even looked like. Apart from the mother who visited her a few years ago and later went away, and since that day she has never returned.
Myaka yanjye afite 22 ntago papa muzi simuzi sinzi n'isura ye gusa mama yambwiye yuko batandukanye kubera ubumuga nyuma kumugara.
Growing up without legs challenged her as she faced many disadvantages, but the more she grew, the more she goes on getting used to it. But what helped her the most was the day she was taken to a school that teaches other disabled people. That's where she learned and developed a self-acceptance. Despite having a self-acceptance, Subira says there are some people who always discouraged her and writing her off, saying she won't make it in life, and even adding more discouraging comments. But she got used to such comments and she's no longer hurt by what people say, as long as she says she's proud of herself and okay with how she is. She adds, living here in this village with a grandma who does not work makes their life even more difficult. That was our first visit to the family, and they were going through a lot, as the young girl was always crawling due to having no wheelchair, and life in general due to no money tasted bitter. Today, we decided to return to this family after almost 5 months since our first time. The 22-year-old says since the day we aired and published her story, it gave out a positive outcome. That's why she's so happy today.
Ngeze inkuru yanjye irasohoka, mu gusohoka narahamagawe, mbwirwa amagambo meza, harabamfashije bampa isabune, amavuta, n'abandi babyifuje batabikoze, ariko kubw'ibyo ngibyo ndabishesha ku iyo nkuru ya mbere, kandi ngambashimira ku gikorwa bankoreye. Imana ibahe umugisha.
Many people called and talked her on phone, while others also visited. Some sent her money, and that's why she got money for buying a wheelchair. And she no longer crawls, making her grateful. A lot has happened after we left. By when we visited, she was in high school, but she made it to the next level, and she's now doing her university studies. She always aspired to be a top model, but since legs became barriers, she said, why not go in the same industry and become a fashion designer? That's what she's learning in college. And she says the target is to be the next big fashion designer in the country. Though she's physically challenged, she does not use this as an excuse to be a burden to other people or because she has no legs. She has a positive mindset and attitude, and we all wish her all the best. After going to college as someone who is disabled, it was very challenging due to the fact that most of her colleagues are not disabled. But whatever happens, she's ready to keep fighting and fighting for her life. After our first visit, this family in general needed support, and of course, monetary support. That's why a campaign was created, and many different people contributed. And today, we bring them all funds gathered.
Nabashimira ku bw'igikorwa cyiza bakoze, nkanashimira n'abandi babikoze, bagize umutima wo gutanga no kunyereka urukundo no kunzirikana. Imana ibahe umugisha.
She almost broke into tears after opening a bag full of money, as she never expected something like this. She says, may the Heavenly Father bless each and everyone who thought of supporting her, and even those who thought of it but never had what to give.
Nubwo kumva ko nyine nshikamye ndiho, nta kibazo ngomba kuzabaho kandi abaho neza.
Despite life hardships and challenges, the 22-year-old says she will never give up, as after finding herself without legs even means fighting more and working harder than most people. And she believes the best is yet to come, and she's sure that she has to accomplish something big and bigger. She's the grandmother to the 22-year-old and says Subira has been a very obedient child. Yet she is physically challenged, but does and cares more than any other grandchild she ever got. The grandmother says our first visit helped them, as the moment the story was aired, they got support from different people that really helped them a lot. To her, she does not have enough words, but says, may God bless you.
Nakomeza kubashimira cyane kwera uburyo mwadufashije kandi n'umukaba mukitwibuka.
We as Afrimax thank each and every person that watches our video and also helps the needy. You make the lives of our people easy. We again thank you for your generosity. Contrary to what the media and society has taught us, happiness comes from our human tendency to become better at something and helping others become better at something as well. Thank you for watching. I'm Elijah and this is Afrimax English. Remember to subscribe.